So I'm Andrea Loiudice, marketing manager of Milestone, and we are here today to speak about Supercross, the official video game number 2. It's great, so we are here at Las Vegas for the announcement event. We have been working on this game for many months right now, so we are very happy to be able today to be here and announce it and get the first feedback. So with year 1, it was the first Supercross game in years, so we had to focus more on creating the sport itself, the physics of the bike, all the bases that we needed to create a new franchise. And so all the focus was exactly on that, recreating, the feeling of the sport, of the stadiums, of the bikes, and all the rules of the sport. So year 2, we moved the focus a little bit, trying to give more the feeling of living the life of a rider. So what exactly means living the life of a rider? These guys do not just do races one after the other. They take a lot of time to become so good as they are to be here today. So we wanted to give you the feeling to be able to grow through the years and to take the decisions they take on how to use their time between one race and the other. So there will be a lot of activities you can run during the game into the career mode. So you will be able to choose if you want to give priority to the sponsors maybe, or to the fans, or to yourself and train in your compound area. And at the compound area, it's one other big addition to the game. So into the career mode, you will have a big compound area, which you can actually free roam around freely. And inside the area, there are 4 different tracks. And when you reach these tracks, you can trigger a race on the tracks and bring also these races online. So the 4 tracks you find into the compound, they are playable online. The cool thing is that into the compound, it's not just about free roaming and having fun, but you will have some challenges you can face, and those challenges allow you to grow in experience, and so become stronger and stronger in different aspects of the game. So there are challenges divided for, braking or acceleration, or maybe bending or jumping, all different type of skills you must have to be a rider. And not just that, you will be able also to invite the real riders to your compound and face them 1 versus 1 on the tracks. And so depending on this, the rivalry you have with these guys will change into the game, and so it means they will behave differently towards you when you come to the races. So we try to create a whole ecosystem around just running the races, and we wanted you to feel like you are a real rider. You need to do different steps to grow bigger and bigger, better and better, and then become the real champion of Supercross. A second part of this I would like to touch, which is more what we are trying to improve, because on the other hand, year 1 we focused on the physics and that kind of stuff, but of course that is the biggest part into a game like this, so it's not that we are not touching it. We are definitely fine-tuning and improving all the physics and all the AI and all the race part of the game. Of course, building on what we have already done in game 1. We take in high consideration all the feedbacks we get. Sometimes it's not easy to navigate through all the feedbacks we get, because sometimes we have people saying I want this and people saying I want the opposite of this. So it's not easy to navigate through this, but we definitely try to keep in consideration all the feedbacks we get from our community, which is very much engaged. And so we are working a lot on the physics of the bike to make it more realistic, easier to handle. So we created a system which is called Air system. Basically allows you to have more control on the bike while it is in air, which is one of the more sensitive parts of recreating the physics of a bike. So we worked a lot on that, and we also worked on creating some helps. You will see into the game that there is now like an ideal trajectory you need to follow for the big jumps that shows you which is the ideal trajectory in air, where to land. So we try to create more helps to bring more people to this sport, which might seem a little bit technical when you start. So you can't just accelerate full throttle and go through the track. Of course, you need to learn how to use acceleration and braking, and all these helps actually in our minds will help you to do that. You will see the faces of the riders. It's one of the biggest improvements we've done. We worked a lot on the lighting, so we wanted to give more the feedback of the feeling, of the real stadium. So you will now have the big screens on the stadiums showing real replays of what you're doing in the track. The lighting of the stadiums will be more realistic. Into the compound, the weather will be dynamic, so you can actually start by day and then it comes the night, maybe starts raining, so everything changes dynamically, not just in the races but also in the compound area, which is now in the game. We worked a lot on that to improve even more the feeling, and we are pretty happy of the level of realism we have reached. And talking about this, fine tunings, the track editor is another area where we spent some time to improve it because it's probably the best feature we had in game one. Everybody loved that. We wanted to give even more to our fan base, and so we added some options to the track editor, so you will have more parts you can combine right now. For example, you can now use the tribunes of the stadiums to combine some parts and have, I don't know, the starting grid on the tribunes of the stadium like it was here in Monster Energy Cup last year. So actually more options to create, to be even more creative. And then we worked on the user interface to make it easier and smoother and to try to give a better user experience to our consumers. Customization is another area of the game we are improving as much as possible, especially in this case in quantity. So there will be more than 300 aftermarket parts you can use to customize your bike. So all the real parts you can find in stores. Some of them are just aesthetic, some others will affect the behavior of the bike. And then we worked a lot on the customization of your avatar and so your rider. So you have more than 3,000 combinations there. You can actually choose what they wear, the helmet, the boots and everything, but not just that. So also the face of the rider, the tattoos, the earrings, everything. So it's more than 3,000 combinations and you can actually create a real reproduction of yourself and trying to be really yourself when you go into the career mode, which is what we wanted to achieve, like you are the guy entering into the Supercross world and trying to grow up and face all the challenges of a real rider. We tried also to add some more small features here and there. One I want to mention is that there will be celebrations, animations you can actually trigger like a QTE, so a quick time event. So if you arrive in one of the first 3 positions, you will be able to just trigger one of these animations and like the real riders do some cool pose, which will be your pose as a winner of the championship. And those are of course unlockable through the game, so there will be more and more while you progress in the game. So we wanted to add all these small features here and there that gives even more the feeling of being a real rider into a real Supercross championship. The game is coming next 8th of February 2019, of course on all platforms, so PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PC.